What are we doing, buddy?
The Open didn't play.
Nice. I guess the show has started.
That is bizarre because it started to play in my ear and then it stopped.
We're off to a great start today, kids. First off, let me just say hello to everybody. We are going through, as Ozzy Osbourne said famously in Black Sabbath, I'm going through changes. Yeah. StreamYard's going through changes, and we are on the receiving end of those changes. So first of all, let me just say this. It's great. Nikki DiFrancesco, I'm getting nervous. Don't get nervous. Everyone's we're going to get through this together collectively. Yeah, Dom, we'll talk about the Cape. Miriam, I'll address the Cape in a second. Stand by. But first off, I want to say thank you, everybody. Hope this has not been too much of an inconvenience. We have been.
Hey, Paulie, real quick, you are crystal clear. I just want to let you know that. You're crystal clear. You're coming in. You look handsome as ever, dude.
Well, that's a great relief. If these people, if you guys in the audience only knew what we've been going through behind the scenes, are you familiar with the term? Tony, get your bleep button ready. Get it ready. Are you familiar with the term shit show?
Or are you familiar with the term clusterfuck?
Oh, nice. You were due to drop one. It's been too long. Yeah, no, I'm familiar with both terms. So again, thanks for finding your way to the show and finding your way to the chat. The thing is this, StreamYard over the weekend, I guess, I don't know if they upgraded their system, they put some new features in, but they basically dumped this new format in our lap, and we're trying to wrestle through this whole thing and get the show presented to you guys in the most convenient way and the best looking and sounding way. And hopefully we're getting there. I don't know. Listen, Tony, I don't know what's going on, which is generally my state, my waking state throughout any given day. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to give you the show today anyway. We actually have a really good one for you because in about a half an hour, we will be joined by, I'm going to say this, Tony, as far as the headline, the billing for Amy Trask, I'm going to go ahead and say Oakland Raider legend Amy Trask. And I want to say one thing about the piece when we get, because we taped it yesterday. We had a great conversation with Amy late afternoon yesterday. We did not address this in the piece, so I'm going to address it now. And I think I said a couple of words after the piece when we finished up with Amy, is that the powers that be in the NFL foolishly, embarrassingly decided to not advance Amy Trask to the finalist category for the NFL Hall of Fame. This just happened over the weekend. Amy was a semifinalist. Yep. They have decided to make her wait the same way they made Ken Stabler wait, the same way they made Bryant Young wait. They made Bryant Young wait for years. So they're up to their old BS over there, the voting committee or however that's regulated. Amy, I guarantee you guys, Amy will be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. There's no question of that. Now it's just going to become a question of when and why she has to wait so long. But I just want you to know we didn't get into that in the piece for a specific reason. We made a decision beforehand. Having just heard that news, we said, all right, let's just stay away from that. Let's just catch up with Amy. But just to update you guys and keep it real, that's what's going on with Amy. But it's a great conversation. Stay tuned for that. Amy, CEO of the Raiders in Oakland for so many years. Al Davis hiring her was unprecedented. So you guys are going to enjoy the conversation. It's great. If you're a Raider fan, you're going to love it. Yes, Tony, yes.
Also, if you're just a fan of just positive forces of nature, you're going to love it because she's amazing. It was such a great chat. And Paulie, I'm going to take over for a second.
Oh, yeah. It's business time.
People are commenting on the chat. They're wondering about the robes. We just got to give credit where credit is due. These were sent to us from Pine Needle on this Roby Tuesday, Paulie. Happy Roby Tuesday, by the way.
Roby Tuesday. Right. Who's gonna hang a name on you? Anyway, continue, Tony. Yes, although I would say to distinguish, I would consider these to be capes. I think we're wearing capes. They are. Which is fun.
And dude, hold on a second. I got to show the hood on mine. The hood on mine's amazing, dude, because this is a pelican cape, and you can see, you can see the pelican right there.
Yeah.
And
fly, pelicans! Come on, pelicans! Come on, you got to give me one of that kind of setup.
Stand by. Here we go.
Pelican fly! Come on, pelican!
But dude, on the back, you can't really see. But yeah,
Dude, you know what I got? Hey, Tony, I got a great idea, brother. I got a great idea. You and I need to go out like on a. Okay, I don't think he can hear me. He's not wearing his headphones. Hold on, before I drop this riff in his lap. Okay, yeah, get your gear back on, buddy. You know, I have an idea. We should have you and I should have like a man date night, like two men on a date, and we should walk in to some fine dining establishment in San Francisco, maybe like Gary Danko, dude. Gary Danko down in the Wharf, one of my favorite restaurants, or something high end like that, like the Boulevard, something like that.
Sure.
We need to walk in wearing these, and as we walk in, we can like untie the knot and say, "Would you guys mind taking my cape? Can you guys check my cape?" Just to see the react. We could have Dom in the corner hiding, like filming it. It'd be almost like a prank, but just to see the react. And we got to go in stone face. Would you please? Would you mind taking my cape, please? Like,
excuse me, sir. Where's your cape check? Where can I check my cape?
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly. And believe me, I'll make it worth your while. You know what I mean? We start tipping guys. Here's a 20 for you. Take care of my cape, dude. So I want to say, Tony, you showed off your Pelican cape. I am impressed. A little bit jealous, but I got to say, you don't have one of these. Now, this is Pine Needle gift. And Pine Needle, if you're out there, yeah, there you are. What's up, brother? Hey, man, I told you we'd get to this. So this is a pepperoni pizza themed cape. You can see I got a big slab, big pepperoni on my shoulder. There's, yeah. No, it's a hell of a thing.
You got pepperoni shoulder pads, dude. That's great.
I do. I got pepperoni shoulder pads. And Pine Needle, I want to thank you, brother. First of all, Tony and I, since day one, when we first saw your name surface, we were like, dude, how about this guy's handle? Pine Needle. We instantly fell in love with you, man. So thank you for being a big part of the show and helping us visually on this Roby Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing okay out there. All kidding aside, I'm glad you guys are in position. We were worried because we were about to start the show, and I couldn't do a pre-show post of the day because there was nobody in there. I'm like, oh, dude, we're going to be shouting into the void today. So I'm very happy to see the audience is assembling. Hope everybody's feeling good. Nikki DiFrancesco, James Lazat, Noemi, Dom, Rags in Florida, in 40-degree weather. I don't know what's going on today. It's a weird day, Tony. How are you feeling, dude? Despite all the StreamYard chaos, how's your head today, man?
Well, I'm actually feeling good on this Roby Tuesday. And Pine Needle, I'd like to also extend my gratitude for what I'm wearing right now. And I've got a pelican themed, I'm not a pelican, I'm sorry, a flamingo themed one as well that I might bust out tomorrow night on the night flight. So thank you, Pine Needle, very, very much. And Paulie, I love Roby Tuesday, number one. And number two, I love that Steph Curry is back as they play the Thunder today. I love that reports are skewing in the right direction of Brock Purdy coming back this Sunday in Arizona. But if I'm the Arizona Cardinals, all I'm doing all week is watching last week's game against the Rams and say, oh, we just need to do exactly what the Rams did on offense and we'll be fine. Well, we won't only beat the Niners, we'll beat them handily. If we steal that game plan. But Paulie, if you don't mind, like we said, it's business time earlier. I'm going to get to supers right out of the gates. Okay?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Tuesday. Escobar Cheeks the third. Dude, I love you even before this super, but now even more. Hey, StreamYard, go F yourself.
I feel the same way, Escobar. It's not pleasant for us either. Dude, imagine like we've been working on this show all year. We have a format we're comfortable with. It's been working. Everybody can accommodate this. Then all of a sudden, we open up the gear yesterday, and it's a whole new platform with different options. There's this insane echo in my headphones that I don't want or need. I didn't ask for it, but there is a vertical option, I guess, and what is it called? The landscape option? Is that
landscape or portrait, Paulie? Portrait or landscape, and it's all it's all part of the new genre that we've entered.
Can I say something? I guarantee you, the guy or girl or collection of people that just updated the StreamYard platform, I guarantee you, all of those people are investors in Waymo. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the same kind of people that are sending driverless cars all over the city, clogging up traffic. Like, bro, you drive through downtown San Francisco, you'll see 3-4 Waymos in a row. San
Francisco, you'll find them all over the peninsula now.
They're up here too. It's only a matter of time before they attack, before they turn on us and attack. It's gonna be like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
That's Black Mirror, Netflix Black Mirror. If you watch that show, someone needs to write and direct and produce a Waymo attacks episode, because Black Mirror does that kind of stuff, and it's a great show. Great show. But
the problem is I can't use my usual vandalism hijinks because there are mirrors all over those cars. Like I would love to go like dump a couple of eggs on those cars. As you can tell, I don't support the Waymo movement. Are you picking that up, you guys? I wish there were human beings driving cars. Why? I'll answer that. Because these are people that can earn a living. Drivers, cab drivers, people that actually know where the F they're going.
Hey, I got a great idea, Paulie. Let's take away jobs. Let's get rid of jobs. Why don't we do that?
The human race. Why don't we just extinguish the human race? You know what I mean, Tony? As soon as possible. I want machines and not a sign of humans in sight. That's what I'm looking for.
What? Hey, warehouse workers, assembly line workers. Why? Who needs them? Let's get rid of them all.
Everybody. You know what? Listen, forget about cab drivers. And I got a new idea. Forget about nannies. You know, when you have a kid, Tony, you got a couple kids, you got to give them to day camp and you go to work. How about this? How about robo nannies? Let's bring in the robots. You know what I mean?
How about Musk's cute little robot diner in LA?
I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is. The robot diner.
You don't know about the Tesla diner? That's all robots. It's all robots. There's not a human inside that works inside the building.
Let me ask you a question about these robots, Tony. Let's just say you're a single guy, which I think Elon Musk is. And a guy like Elon Musk with a $1 trillion bank account shouldn't have a hard time getting dates. But if he goes to his robo diner and he starts getting a little feisty, maybe he's getting a little horny on a Tuesday afternoon, he's going, I could use a little romance in my life. And he looks around, you can't make out with a robot, can you? I mean, is there you feel what I'm saying? How are you going to procreate if there's nothing but robots? Or
it's a Tesla drive-through, no drive-in. They're calling it. It's a joke. I'm looking for a picture of it for you, Paulie, and it's just it's alarming, is what it is. It's alarming.
Rags had a mishap in his car last night. He goes, a railroad crossing gate came down on the hood of my Uber last night.
Nice.
Scared the S out of us. Rex, why were you on train tracks? That's a whole other story. We'll get into that soon. Tony, what are you doing? That was Amy Trask. What are you doing over there?
What's that?
I'm looking at Amy Trask on my screen. Why are we doing that?
That's weird. Wow, this thing's got a mind of its own today.
Yeah,
I'm trying to share this, Paulie. This is what I wanted to share on the screen because this is the diner. That's the new diner.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna make a promise to you, Tony, right now, as my friend and co-worker and cohort and partner and all that stuff. I'm never going there.
Nope.
I'm never going. Look at that. That's like where George Jetson goes to get a cup of coffee.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
We're becoming the Jetsons, dude, and let's get rid of jobs all over the place. Paulie, I also want to have a great super from Noemi. Bring that to the show. Thank you, Noemi, for the super, by the way. She says, if the NFL wants more female interest, maybe acknowledge those who work in sports instead of promoting the S out of Taylor Swift. Take a freaking bow, Noemi. That is a great super. That is a great comment. You are so on the money. And when you see Amy Trask later on in the show, former Raiders CEO, now CBS sports analyst and a podcast host, very, very, she's amazing, and she should be in the freaking hall. And NFL refuses to get it right, just refuses to get it right. So it's just,
and Noemi, I just want to react to that too. It's a perfectly laid out statement. And you're right. The NFL has really missed an opportunity. They have missed the mark. I mean, you're right. You want to celebrate the women that have helped build this league. She's one of those people, man.
Yeah. Not somebody who dates a tight end and happens to be a singer as well. You know, she has nothing to do with the NFL except for dating a tight end. Nothing.
By the way, can I launch another complaint about Taylor Swift? I'm just throwing this out there real quick. She's a crappy dancer, dude. And I was talking to Noemi about this at our Warriors party a couple of weeks ago. Do you remember that, Noemi?
Yeah.
Dude, she's breaking off shit like this. Oh, there's another curse. Sorry, Tony. It's one of those days where I see Taylor Swift on stage. She's doing stuff like this. She's like, I'm like, what? Really? That's what people are paying $4,000 for. She's just not a good dancer. She's very, very like Caucasian. You know what I mean? Right. She looks like a very, very white person when she's dancing.
Go back to the Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation video and you see all the dancing you need to see. Really. I mean, that's a boogie festival, dude. Give me, or give me Diamond Dave with the leather tassel covering his ass.
Let's not. How about Madonna, dude? Madonna was a great dancer back in the day, for real. Like, she was incredible. Like, so anyway, Taylor Swift, I don't see it. I don't get it. It's not for me.
Give me all of the Thriller dancers in the Thriller video. Ola Ray. And then when they turn into zombies and they're doing the Thriller dance, which was like mimicked, it's actually made its rounds again. People mimicking the Thriller video. Yeah, Taylor Swift. Just enough, dude. Enough, man. So Noemi, thank you for the super. Hold on. Dom is a super as well. Dom Peralta, thank you, brother, for being a super. He says, shout out Frank Costanza's caped lawyer.
Larry David. Yeah, that was Larry David with the little glasses. Yeah, the cape, no question. Dude, I feel it is empowering. I got to say, wearing a pepperoni pizza. Tony, look at this. When I hold it close, I got the 2 pepperoni. Like, look at that. Perfect. Like you said, they're pepperoni shoulder pads, brother.
Totally. You know? And you look good, man. It's good looking pepperoni. And then Escobar Cheeks the third coming through one more time as a super. He says, you can get away with beating a Waymo if you dress as a member of the baseball.
I want to throw something out there, Escobar. Leave that up there, T, for a second, because there has been a little bit of a Warriors thing going on the comments line. A couple of minutes ago, I saw John Joseph just post this. He goes, we have the streets, suckers.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was laughing inside when I saw that, John. We've got this. Can you count, suckers? Yeah. Great stuff, man. Thank you, Escobar. Thank you, John Joseph. Before we tell you what, let's do some business real quick. Do you want to address?
Oh, if you want to do some business, Paul, yeah. Sorry, I apologize.
Give me.
It's business time. I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say it's time for business. It's business time.
Ooh, by the way, Paulie, Greg Trela, a brother of Hacksaw Montana here on the show.
Yeah.
Greg Trela emailed us and says, guys, I love the business time. But he said, reminder, at the end of the song, they say business time is closed. So without further ado, maybe at the end of each show, Paulie, or maybe whenever we want to close business time, we would add this to the show.
Business hours are over, baby.
First of all, okay, now stop, T, please. A couple quick things. First of all, I'm kind of pissed off now that you've withheld that for me all this time. Why?
No, I just put it in last night. Because I saw Greg's email. Thank you, Greg, for emailing in. I saw the email. As soon as he emailed, I'm like, that is the best freaking
It's amazing.
reminder.
It's amazing. And I love it. I want more of this. So, Tony, we could go Diamond David Lee Roth, crossfade, arrow.
Sure.
Its business time is closed. I'm just saying we might be able to use it that way to end the show. I like that a lot. Great call.
Done.
Yeah.
Business hours are over, baby.
Yeah.
Great ending. Very Jane's Addiction. Like boom on a dime. I like that. Tony, and I like how he goes, business time. Tony, the way he pronounces over, he goes, it's over. It's over. Give me over one more time. Let me just analyze that one more time. It's over. Yeah.
Business hours are over, baby.
Business hours are over. Dude, I'm all about this guy. Who the hell is this again? Who's singing this?
Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords, who also went on to have a good musical career and does music for the movie Moana.
Nice. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, it's got great voice. By the way, I'm not even BS and Tony. Next time we do a Polymac and Friends gig, we're playing that song. You and me. We're playing business time. I want Bob Marcucci on the bongos. It's got a funky groove, actually.
Yes.
A little bit of funk running through that.
Okay. What you're trying to say? You're trying to say it's business time. And there's also a part in the song where he says he's only down to his socks, but he leaves his socks on. That's why they call them business socks.
Dude, hell yeah, bro. Socks on, socks off, whatever. Wax on, wax off, socks on, socks off. All right, Tony, let me give some love to Carlos De La Fuente real quick. The gentleman who was the inspiration for the Pelican Cape, the Fly Pelican Fly soundbite from Scarface, and the guy's just a great hang. We got to hang with Carlos last week. Hope to see you soon again, Losty. And I hope that you'll be able to make Rags made me laugh. I hope you'll be able to make it out to our Christmas party. We should be announcing the date and location this effing week, maybe even tomorrow night. We're working on that right now, all kidding aside. And Karen Bell, I want to see you there. Dom, Noemi, all of y'all, John Joseph, many of you that can make it. And there's no there's no intention outside of us just having a great time and saying thank you to the audience. That's what the party's all about. Okay. Carlos De La Fuente, Flex Funding. Tony, listen, he is the man. Like that song tribute that was sent to you where they go, Tony grew up on the streets. Like he's from the streets. Los D is from the streets too. The streets of San Francisco.
Yes.
26 years in the business. San Francisco native. Cares about the city, knows about the city. What was the big ball game he went to see last week? It was Sacred Heart and Reardon.
Bruce Mahoney. No, SISH, Bruce Mahoney football, dude. SI did 23-14 at Kezar Stadium. It's an annual every year at Kezar.
That's the game he was attending on Friday?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize that was the Mahoney game. Okay.
Yeah, Bruce Mahoney. He went to SH. So he came up and he had his high school reunion too. And so he had the reunion during the day, he had the game that night. And great scene at Kezar, dude. Mayor Danny Lurie was on site and throwing some dimes. I saw some video of him throwing some dimes. And there was the Wildcats versus the Fighting Irish. Great scene for San Francisco high school football, man.
What about where does Reardon fit into the?
Reardon just beat Sarah. They just beat Sarah.
Wow.
Sarah's been the powerhouse, and Reardon just beat Sarah last Friday at Sarah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Big win for the
take that, Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Put that in your freaking blender and make a protein drink out of that. And you too, Barry Bonds, you too put that in your blender and take a bike ride and ponder that. I love upsets like that. That's freaking
too.
awesome.
It's also city football versus Peninsula football. I'll root for city football all damn day, dude. And it was a big win for the Crusaders, man.
And Reardon, forgive my ignorance, but I'm asking, like the Reardon is traditionally a powerhouse in football or basketball. Would you consider
basketball has always been their main sport?
Yeah. Okay.
But dude, our guy, one of our favorite guys, Bill Lasky, is now an assistant coach for the baseball program.
No way.
Bob Sargent's son.
Yeah.
Bob Sargent's son is now the varsity baseball coach at Reardon.
Get the hell out of here! Really?
Yeah, Joe Shasky, our buddy Joe Shasky at 95.7, he is actually helping out with the baseball program at Reardon.
Okay.
They get a lot of people that are revamping the baseball program at Reardon. The football program is absolutely kicking ass. I got to give major hat tip to my dear friend Tim Reardon, who is the president of Reardon High School. He was my baseball coach for summer baseball in my junior and senior year at high school, dude. He's only a few years older than me, but he was my coach and was like, this is the best. It's like having an older brother as my summer baseball coach. It was so fun.
Hey,
he's the president. And so they're doing a great job at Reardon, man. And they opened it to co-ed. It used to be all boys. Now it's co-ed and it's thriving. Reardon's thriving.
I'm sure the boys are happy about that. All kidding. And the girls too. I mean, I would not want to go through high school with all boys. I would have gone crazy. You got to make some girls in. Yeah.
And Paulie, we're going to talk Curry. We're going to talk Brock Purdy in a sec here, but I pause on that, Paulie, because I did 2 years all boys, 2 years girls. There's perks to both, dude. Because like I could wear the same pair of pants and maybe shower like once during the week when it was all boys, and you just be like, "This is the best thing ever." And then when we went co-ed, it's like, "Oh my god, I gotta actually like present myself."
You gotta make yourself up to look as much like Stephen Piercy as possible. Because I know when you went to high school, that's what was going on. And Tony had the Rat poster in the Rat Gang in his bedroom in high school, and I can't tell you how much I respect that. Okay. Tony, no, I'm not kidding. No joke, no punchline, nothing but respect, dude, for Tony's admiration for the Rat Gang. Okay,
yes.
Tony, we were talking about Los D, and sorry, I went on a little high school football thing, but I do want to get back to one last question. Soccer Bowl 10 SC says F Sarah High School football. Why is there such an anti-Sarah sentiment throughout the Bay? Like, if you don't go to Sarah, everybody hates Sarah. So what's behind that?
I wouldn't. The hate is, well, it's just like they're always good, right? It's like De La Salle. They're like the De La Salle of the peninsula, and so ultimately it's a respect thing where you just got to tip your cap and say, "Damn, dude, Patrick Walsh and that program, they've done a great job over the years." And Walsh is actually a really good football coach, man, and he went to De La Salle.
Oh, he's awesome. I know Walsh. Yeah, Pat Walsh, right? Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah,
he does a really good job, and he runs next level sports for the kids and flag football. So,
well, I think Pat Walsh, real quick to you, I'm pretty sure Pat Walsh was a big part of that undefeated streak, De La Salle. Like, I think his years were like right in the middle of that, I believe. Yeah.
Sons of Johnny LeMaster. What's up, sons? Welcome back. Are you still?
Well, I'm asking. No, I'm getting great information. This is what I'm looking for. Thank you, sons. He goes, it's a bunch of pretty boys from where?
You just that's pretty from the peninsula, basically.
Okay.
But I will say though that like the Walsh has attracted more of a melting pot of athlete and student athlete at Sarah, where it's more of the Polynesian kids go there now, and it's just they play really good football and they're damn good. So the hatred is probably too strong of a word to say. It's more of like, damn, they're always freaking good. So when you see a team beat them, and dude, they played Folsom. They played John Bosco, I think, at the beginning of the
Reardon or Sarah?
Sarah did. So they
Folsom's good. Folsom always has a good team.
They challenge themselves right out of the gates, with the best programs in California. So you got to tip your cap. But when Reardon goes down there and beats them on Sarah's turf,
I love stuff like that. I got to admit, I love a good upset, especially like you said, Tony, a city school going down to the rich private school and smacking them around. I like that a lot. All right. Anyway, sorry, Carlos. We did like a 10-minute football jam in the middle of your spot. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
But no, Carlos, but he's passionate about it too. That's what started it. He was actually at the game. Like he wanted to be there. And I get that. Tony took me to a Mahoney game once. It was a lot of fun. It was a basketball game. They played at USF, but I really enjoyed the experience. I love high school sports, and I love high school football in particular. I think it's like the purest version of the game before the corruption kicks in at the college level, and then the pros. You got all kind of divas running around. But high school football to me is where it's at. I still love high school football. Yeah.
100%. And by the way, Paulie, in Carlos's spot, I want to read a review that I came across online.
Well, why don't you jump into that? Okay, let me set up Carlos real quick. And again, this is the extended jam today. Carlos De La Fuente, I think by now you probably know, but if you're new to the show, Carlos is, he is the guy to go to with all of your financial questions, concerns, goals, objectives, all that stuff. He can handle private money loans. He is an expert when it comes to home equity lines of credit. We've talked a lot about, and this is for you newcomers, we've talked a lot about the trust you can have with Carlos, because he's an old school stand-up guy, kind of guy I like. You know who he reminds me of a little bit personality wise is your uncle, Paul Tonelli.
Yeah.
That same kind of like rock solid dude that is going to have your back. And that's what you need when you're dealing with your money. If you do need to draw a line of credit, he can help you with that. If you want to, and by the way, if you do want to talk to Carlos about a home equity line of credit, know this: you're never going to get hit with like an appraisal fee. You're not going to get hit with an escrow or title fee. He is very considerate of your time as well, and he's an expert in money matters. Tony, give me one of those reviews you were talking about.
Yeah, listen to this, man. This is from Rochelle in Vallejo, and she says, some people may call him Carlos De La Fuente, but to me, he will always be the GOAT. He came recommended to me by a family member years before I was ready to buy a home, and out of his kindness and heart to give everyone a chance to purchase, he guided me toward what proved to be one of the most difficult, but at the same time, the most rewarding experiences of my life. Using his recommendations, I worked hard to do my best to get ready for the purchase, and when it was time, Carlos went immediately into action and advocated for me at every turn. Though we had to go through the paces, he was kind enough to check on me daily and encourage me to keep going and to let me know that it would be okay and we would make it through and be victorious. I honestly believe that if it wasn't for Carlos, I would be looking at renting for many years to come. He helped me believe that I could do it, and now I have done it. He is such a seasoned professional. He could tell me what could happen before it hit so that I could prepare myself for the roller coaster in this crazy market. We even had a very tight closing window working against us, but Carlos helped me hurdle over every obstacle. So that is, he says, Carlos for me was more than a senior loan consultant. He was like a brother to me, and I will be indebted to him for the rest of my life. If you're ready to make a purchase or thinking about making a purchase or a reverse mortgage, there is no one else to call but Carlos De La Fuente. How about that, man?
No, it's a great review, and I'm not surprised. This is what people love this guy, and you'll see why when you talk to him. And by the way, Carlos just doesn't make you a part of the deal. He brings you into the deal, hence us being inside the calculator when we're talking about Los D. He brings you right into the equation. And Tony, I want to say reach out anytime, 925-250-4894. Talk to Carlos about your future. Set yourself up for next year, your financial goals. This is time to start talking about them as we wrap up 25. Let's start forecasting 26 and reach out to Carlos and let him know your goals or let him know what you need. Shoot him an email if you prefer that. Carlos at MyFlexNow. com. And Carlos, the pleasure's been ours this year, buddy. It's been great getting to know you, and it has been great doing business with you. Onward and upward, brother. Reach out to Carlos and help yourself, help your family, help your business. He is the guy. Tony, couple quick things on the Niners before we I want to give Dr. Matt Young some love too before Amy Trask. But so I just want to read you a quote from Shanahan about Brock Purdy, because this morning the news is Brock is pretty close to getting cleared, which means, I guess, again, there's a chance we could see him in the desert Sunday in Arizona. Here's what I want to read to you. Shanahan underscored Brock Purdy's value and place with the team. Basically, with this quote, he says, quote, this is Shanahan, this is Brock's team. If Brock is good to go and he can play, there's no decision to be made, meaning that as soon as Brock is cleared, he will be the quarterback again, QB1. Do you agree with that, Tony? Or do you think Mac Jones – now, Mac Jones has done an incredible job. Think about this. They've asked Mac Jones to start 8 games. He's gone 5-3. That is in a very tough NFC West, and all things considered with the injuries. I think Mac Jones has done a great job. Do you? So when Shanahan says this is Brock's team, are you cool with that?
Yes, because I believe that Brock, first of all, he got the payday, so they gotta back up their investment.
Yep.
Second of all, yes, Mac Jones has done not just good, like a great job filling in. The one thing I will say is, yes, it's Brock's team when he's ready to go, but I just wonder how short or long the leash is on Brock. Because say Purdy goes out and, well, first of all, I hope that he comes out and looks great and plays well and, you know, back in the groove, right? But let's just, you know, worst case scenario, he doesn't do well. I just don't know how long of a leash they're going to have to give him, because the losses would be piling up, and you got to, if you want to win now. So it's going to be very interesting. You got to give Brock the chance to do it, because those are the roles that were provided to Mac Jones and Brock Purdy at the beginning of the season. Payday for Brock. He got his bag that Juwan wants. Juwan's bag, right, Paulie? But with Mac Jones, he knows he's the backup. He's played that role, and he knows. But again, if Purdy goes out and doesn't play well, I just wonder how short the leash will be, because we've seen what Mac Jones can do.
Yeah, I think that to go back to your original point there, T, your kind of question, you're wondering about the leash, how long it'll be. I think he's going to go 4 quarters. I think if Brock starts, unless he gets hurt or
no, I'm not talking about like taking him out in a game. Like, he'll definitely play a full game. But I'm saying, like, if he goes out and does not play well, or does not look good, or does not look 100% for 2 straight games, I think that they might have to make a switch back to Mac Jones.
This has been such a weird year around the NFL. And I thought last night was a weird game too, by the way, Philly and Green Bay. I was very surprised that Philly completely shut down Green Bay. Like, Green Bay couldn't do anything all night. Yeah. They were struggling. They couldn't move the football. Right. Love looked kind of lost out there, which he normally doesn't. I thought the Green Bay Packers were going to explode all over the Eagles, and I was way off on that one. I would have lost. If I took a bet on that one, I would have taken the Packers. And, man, was I wrong. It's just been a really bizarro kind of year. All the injuries around the league, you know, Brock Purdy, Joe Burrow, all the guys, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, all these marquee names, but it's not just San Francisco. It's been all over the freaking league. And it's been I think we're going to look back on this season and say, like, man, that was a really weird year, 2025. And I don't know where things are going to go from here, but I'm eager to see Brock Purdy again. I hope he can play. I hope he can do all the things in terms of his mobility.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, the mobility, Paulie. And can he put full pressure and strength on that toe?
We're going to find out. We're going to find out, because he is a good mobile quarterback, and that's part of his game. And I do worry about. Listen, you might look at the Cardinals and be like, "Oh, this is a game we're going to win." I don't know, man. I'll tell you what. I know Seattle mauled them over the weekend, but I can say this: that there's something going on with Kobe Brissett and their big tight end, that big white boy. What's his name? The Arizona Cardinal tight end. Somebody help me out. He had 8.
Trey McBride.
Yes, McBride, dude. He's a handful, dude. He is a freaking handful.
No relation to Danny. No relation to Danny McBride. Just
unfortunately. Unfortunate. And by the way, Danny McBride to me right now is one of the funniest guys out there. I can't get enough of that dude.
By the way, Paulie, yesterday was Walton Goggins' birthday. Yesterday. I came across a video, and I meant to flag it, but I'll have to throw it on tomorrow night's Night Flight, of Goggins and McBride, like at the back in a parking lot, and Goggins is dressed up as the Hamburglar, and McBride is dressed up as Ronald McDonald.
All right. They've done a lot of shows together. I got to recommend this one too. I know you're way behind on Gemstones, Tony. You got to catch up with Righteous Gemstones. But when you finish that, dude, I jump right into Vice Principals. That show is insane, bro. There is one episode, by the way, Tony, where Goggins and McBride go to their high school football game and they get dosed by LSD. They get dosed at a high school football game. It is freaking unbelievable. They're both hiding under the bleachers while the game is going on. And McBride's like, come on, we got to get out of here. And then Goggins is like, no, this is our new home now. And like, it's just, you'll love it, dude. You got to check that out. Anyway, also, hello, Mikey V. Good to see you, brother. Mikey V, one of our oldest tickets.
Is that Verdue? Is that Mike Verdue?
How many Mikey V's can there be? You know what I mean? That's got to be our Mikey V, I hope.
Mikey Verdue. If that's Verdue, reveal yourself, pal.
Yeah, I guarantee it's got to be Mikey V. And also, Mikey V, you're going to love today because we connect with Amy Trask in a couple of minutes, who I know you know as well. Tony, back to the Niner game for a second. So that McBride Brissett connection, that thing started heating up. If you watch the back end of that Seahawk game, dude, again, like I said, I think he had 8 or 9 receptions. So I think he's going to be a big part of the offensive game plan, Brissett. And McBride. Problem is, I don't know if our defense can contend with that right now. The defense looks so poor against the Rams, and I think it was the schemes. But guys were blowing their assignments. They couldn't put pressure on Stafford. Nothing significant. I think they got to him once. So I believe it or not, I'm a little bit concerned about this game. I don't think the Niners go in there and roll over him. I really don't.
Unfortunately, Paulie, I'm concerned as well, man.
Yeah.
And like you said yesterday, there's whenever they play Arizona, especially in Arizona, it's funky, it's weird. And by the way, Vegas feels it too. Vegas only has Arizona as a 2.5 point underdog. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. So, I mean, you would think based on the records so far and the fact that it's Brissett, but if Vegas knows. Vegas is always on the mark, not always, often on the mark. And with plus 2.5, that says what you're saying. McBride's gonna be a factor. Again, like I said in the beginning of the show, if I'm the Cardinals, I'm just watching the Rams Niners tape all week.
Yeah, and I
need to do this, need to do that, need to do that. And I mean, obviously, I don't think the O-line for the Arizona is as good as the Rams O-line, but I mean, the Niners weren't getting any pressure at all on Stafford, and obviously Brissett is not Stafford either. So it'll be interesting. But dude, it's not a gimme at all.
No, it's not. And I felt like I don't know if you guys agree with this, or maybe you felt this too, maybe not. Let me know. But Tony, I felt like watching the Niner Ram game. This to me was the first time, honestly, I felt all year where it's finally caught up with the Niners. Like they are so depleted. They've been getting great performances by their backup, second tier guys, third tier guys. But last week it kind of caught up with them. I mean, they were outmatched, they were outclassed. The Rams were healthy, they were firing on all cylinders. And the Niners right now, they don't have the personnel on the field. They just don't. They don't have the guys on the field to make plays, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So this might be a grind out game. This could be another Eddie Pinheiro kind of deciding game. Yeah,
the Rams are picking on Upton Stout. He's a rookie, and I would assume Arizona's going to do the same thing. Again, it goes back to getting pressure on the quarterback, man. If you can get some pressure on the quarterback,
they did not show that they can. I know you said it's a different line and stuff, but then all the year the Niners have not been applying pressure consistently to opposing quarterbacks. It just hasn't been.
By the way, Paulie, you mentioned the Monday Night Football game. I'm glad that you were able to see it because guess what? I wasn't able to see it, Paulie, because of
other people are commenting about that. What happened? What do you mean?
YouTube TV and ABC and ESPN and are in a battle. So the games, ESPN is not on YouTube TV right now because of all kinds of.
So you got no coverage of the game?
No Monday Night Football.
Damn, I'm sorry to hear that. That's BS, bro. Well, you can always join Comcast and pay like a $3,000 cable bill every month if that sounds appealing. That's kind of, maybe not quite that much, but close. I don't know who I was complaining about. Somebody else that we were launching complaints about Comcast recently. I think it was at the gig on Saturday night. Somehow it came up. Might have been because of what you're talking about, the YouTube dispute and whether or not the game was going to be shown. But the Comcast bill, believe me, it's no walk in the park, Holmes. It's like a mortgage payment at this point.
That's why we went to YouTube TV, because it's much more cost affordable, cost effective, but you end up paying more. You pay money for the apps that you get on YouTube TV. But I will say we've thoroughly enjoyed it until now. And it's like, can you guys just handle your crap?
Handle your business. We're trying to watch football out here, for Christ's sakes. And I will say this too, that the Eagles finally looked like the Eagles last night. That was the team that kind of looked as good as they did last year. Because I thought the Eagles have been kind of trying to find their footing leading up to last night, and I think they found it last night. They look good.
How many Big Dom sightings did you have last night? Did you get any?
Mercifully, there were few. I didn't get mercifully, it wasn't a big part of the night, thank God. Hey, you know who's a big part of our show? Speaking of big parts, is Dr. Matt Young. We love Dr. Matt Young. Yeah. He is. I got to be totally honest and upfront with you guys. I've been friends with Dr. Young for over a decade. I've been a patient of his for over a decade. Creative Tony has seen the light. Megan, his better half, is going to go see the light, as are Tony's kids. Yep. I believe Don Peralta, our art director and good friend, is going to soon be a patient of Dr. Young, if he's not already. And you should be too. Trust me, man. Trust me. I was referred to Dr. Young originally by one of our friends at KMBR, the great Natalie Pennsylvania. She was like, you need to go to my dentist. This guy's the freaking best. Because I was talking about like having to switch or open enrollment. I don't know. I had to find a new dentist at one point, and she recommended him, and I've never looked back. Dr. Matt Young has been in the business over 25 years. He is located down in Union Square in San Francisco, 490 Post Street. Reach out to Dr. Young anytime, and I know open enrollment is still going for some of you out there. Make the move. It'll be the best move you've ever made. Call him and ask about your insurance coverage. Most of the time, you're going to get clear sailing with insurance because he takes pretty much all of them. 415-392-8611. 415-392-8611. Comprehensive dental care at your service. We're talking cleanings. We're talking implants, veneers, orthodontics, all of that stuff. The great team, Tony and Joyce, have struck up a friendship down there. But it's not just Joyce. It's all of them. It's all of them. They're all incredible. They will work around your schedule. Imagine that, like a business that actually considers your busy life and schedule. One last thing, if you are considering an implant kind of procedure or some kind of implant surgery, or maybe you just need that because of like some kind of health issue, Dr. Young is the best in the country at that. He is the president of the American Academy of Implant Dentistry. So find out why we rave about this guy as passionately as we do. And I'll leave you with this, Tony. I just want to remind everybody that, Tony, once you get advanced in the Martin Scorsese documentary, you're going to get to that episode where Scorsese starts going, at this point, and he's always talking all fast and everything. He's like, at this point, I look forward to a root canal. It's the only place I can be alone. The phone's not ringing. People aren't trying to pitch me script. He's doing the whole thing. I don't know. It's kind of a hybrid Lacob I'm doing there. I don't know, like Lacob on speed. I don't know. But I just thought that was so funny. He's like, I look forward to root canals because it's the only place I can get some peace and quiet. Maybe you feel that way too with your busy schedule. But reach out to Dr. Young. Shoot him an email, info@youngdentalsf.com. Tony, give me a couple of words, and then we'll get ready to set up Amy Trask for everybody.
Absolutely, Paulie. And I've talked at length about my experiences with Dr. Young and the Young Dental Group staff, especially Joyce. They were incredible. They were so helpful and calming and just very chill. But also, Paulie, have we done a wellness check on Dr. Young since the Bills got shellacked by the Dolphins? We should probably check in on him.
He's a long suffering. That's the thing. If you're a Bills fan, you've been tortured for years. I mean, they're one of the only teams left that hasn't won a Super Bowl. There aren't that many left. They're still one of them. Yeah.
That's why go Brewers and go Bills if it can't be the Niners and Giants. But Paulie, we gave her a wonderful review for Carlos De La Fuente and Flex Funding. I want to give her a review. This is from Elise, and just this past in November of this year, she says, I saw Dr. Young after I had fainted and knocked my own teeth out.
So I don't mean to laugh, but that's incredible. It sounds like something I would do, actually. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? The emergency room had sewn them into my lip. Not only was Dr. Young able to remove them, he spun off my plasma and injected it into the lip to promote healing. Though the procedure was to remove foreign bodies, the lip, which had gone through serious trauma, also looked much better after the procedure. I have found Dr. Young to be a very advanced dentist with a great bedside manner. He even lasered my scars for me and gave me his cell phone number in case I needed anything. I've been very impressed by everyone in his office and the level of care they provide. That's from Elise, literally in just this past month in 2025.
I love the plasma injection. That's badass, man. That's like I didn't know he offered that service, but that's really good. I've heard those are really good. All kidding aside, those plasma injections are like awesome. So that's a great review you read. I'm laughing because I got distracted by Gravy. Mark Graves checking in going, Paulie, your Martin Scorsese voice sounds like Larry David doing Steinbrenner. Great call. I know. I haven't perfected that one. It just kind of came out. But no, that was a great review, Tony. And thank you, Dr. Young, really, for everything you've done for us this year. The show, thanks to guys like you and Losty and, of course, Neil Denardi and all the Longbridge family and Don Peralta. That's the reason we're still advancing this thing forward. So we can't thank you enough, Dr. Young. Hope to see you at our Christmas party. How great was it when he came rolling into our Warriors party, dude? That was you were like, dude, Dr. Young's here. Dr. Young's here. I was like, yeah. And then the handsome presence of a Dr. Young, dude, the tan skin, obviously the amazing teeth and his cool persona. He's got a great chill persona. And I need that. Being around him kind of calms me down. You know what I mean, T?
He's the best, man. And there was a group of dudes at the Belmont dads that came up to Longbridge Pizza that day, and they were like, whoa, is that Dr. Young? And I go, yeah. And so I brought him over the table, and he was holding the round table with these guys. It was great. And so I can't love Dr. Young enough, and the whole, like we said, the entire staff. So just get involved. 415-392-8611, 415-392-8611. Call and make an appointment, or email them info@youngdentalsf.com. P.
Hey, last thing, let's do a quick check on the Warriors. We didn't really get into them yesterday, and then we'll go to Amy Trask. But Warriors at OKC, they're starting a very long road trip. They're not going to be back at Chase for a couple of weeks. I think it's a 6 or 7 game road trip. Where are you with our Dubs? We haven't been talking a lot of Warriors yet this year with football going on, but I keep an eye on the games. I think Steph is finally coming back tonight. He's been really sick. A lot of people have been sick in the Bay. You know, and when we talk to Tom Tolbert, like when he offers like a basketball take, I take it to heart because Tom knows what the hell he's talking about when it comes to NBA basketball. And he looked at us in the backyard a couple of weeks ago, and he just said, without any kind of doubt in his voice, he goes, OKC is the best team in the NBA, not just because they're champions, the way they're playing right now. And that's the assignment tonight. I got a weird feeling. I don't know, Tony. Listen, you know what I mean? Everyone's got to lose at some point. I have a sneaky feeling the Warriors might steal one tonight on their own floor because they're due for a big night. They've been kind of scuffling. I know they got a nice win the other night against Indiana, but I actually think there's a chance they can go in there and punch him in the nose tonight. I don't know what's behind it. I just feel that.
Well, first of all, your guy Quentin Post, dude, dropped 14 points and 8 boards on Sunday. Again, you know, the Pacers were resting Siakam and they were depleted, but the Warriors handled their business at Chase Center to go 5-0 at Chase Center, by the way, this year. 114-83. Quentin Post looking good, though, and also Jimmy Butler, dude, just taking over, and looked damn good. And then, but Kuminga had a rough night. He was 1 for 9 from the field. I'm hoping he bounces back. Horford added 12 from the bench, Paulie. So, like, these are the guys that are kind of picking up the slack when Curry's gone. And this is going to be part of the season of, like, load management, as they say, the new term for basically not playing. I love that there's a fancy, that's like Larry Bear's dynamic pricing when they launched that for Giants baseball.
I got to ask somebody like Steve Moskowitz, my buddy Steve Moskowitz, like, hey, Steve, can I take a load management year on my taxes this year? Is that cool with you guys? I'm not paying them. I'm just taking load management. I'm taking time off. I mean,
dynamic pricing. What's dynamic about you raising the prices on me when
here's how I'm going to react to your dynamic pricing. I'm going to dynamically stay away from the game. How does that sound? I'm going to dynamically watch it in my own home with a bottle of Pinot and maybe some herbal delish at my side. That's my 100%. Response. Yeah.
100%, dude. So it's just like, but anyways, I'm glad Curry's back. Of course, I'm starting to like, I don't know. I know we have maybe a couple years left in the Curry window.
Yeah.
but you just never know. So I'm just really just starting to really tune in and hone in and appreciate what
Finally.
we
Yeah.
have.
Yes. Yes.
Because
Yes.
we are so lucky to have
Unbelievably.
experienced the Steph Curry era. And honest to God, he's one of my favorite athletes of all time in
Me too.
any era, any sport,
Me
any
too.
just hands down. And to have him back is huge. And I love when I watch, like, go back and watch Steve Kerr from last week with Tolbert, and the way he talks about Curry is just it's so funny to see a head coach speak so lovingly and glowingly about a player of his,
Yeah.
and it's so cool. And so, anyways, it's just great to have Curry back. So I'm very excited to have him back. But I'm excited, guys like Post and Horford, the pods, they're and Moody, they're stepping up in his absence. And now this is gonna be quite a test today at OKC. So we'll
I
see.
just got a good vibe about it, man. I don't know. I just got a good vibe about this game. Hopefully the particles are in the air, because I'm feeling them right now.
Nice.
And also, it's ironic too with the Warriors. Maybe not ironic. That's not the right word. But have you seen the start that Klay Thompson's been off to?
Well,
Historically bad for Klay. I kind of feel bad. And it even gotten to the point now, Tony, where I hear Dallas is thinking about moving him. That is it. They're kind of going around the league. They're thinking about moving him. I heard he might wind up, of all places, in Brooklyn. Or that Brooklyn would be an interested team because they could pick up his gigantic contract. But
and also the Mavericks just fired their GM, Nico Harrison. So it's like it's kind of a mess in Dallas, man. So it's like, Klay,
you didn't want to be here. Yeah, right. You had to get out of here. I know.
What you wanted, dude. Like you kind of, as my grandfather said and my parents said, "Hey, Klay, you made your own bed."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You made your own bed. So
now you gotta go sleep in it.
I love Klay. I do
too. I do too.
He was on the downslope, dude. That reminds me of the Far Side. Great lyric back in the day. Shot him in the ass on the downslope. Anyways, Klay is on the downslope, and I don't know. He had a good situation here, I thought, and he won.
The Splash Brothers, most dynamic backcourt in the history of the NBA, in my opinion. Yeah. Mark Jackson said it first, and Mark Jackson was right. Mark Jackson said, a lot of people thought it was premature. He goes, "This is the best shooting backcourt in NBA history." Nice. He said that when those guys were young, and he was right the whole time. Hey, one last thing, Tony. Sorry, I wanted to just say this. I forgot at the front. My bad. I do apologize. I want to say Happy Veterans Day to all of you veterans out there, or if you're a veteran watching the show, a veteran listening to the show, maybe you got a veteran in your family, a spouse, a father, brother, uncle, aunt, whatever the case might be. Just want to say thank you for your service, for all you do. We're all very grateful. So veterans, this day's for you. And I salute you guys. I really do. And with that being said, Tony, I want to get us into and we're going to actually have to say goodbye now. So Miriam, Joe Schmo, Dami, all you guys, we, the champs, babe, everybody, thanks for coming. Stand by because we're going to throw it to Amy Trask. This is a recorded conversation from yesterday afternoon. She's currently with CBS Sports. I'm sure you guys have seen her on TV, and she famously was the CEO of the Oakland Raiders under Al Davis. And we actually address her nickname on the show, which is pretty funny. She was known during her time in Oakland, Tony, as the Princess of Darkness. And she totally embraced it. She totally embraced it. She even talks about going up into the seats at Arrowhead with Lincoln Kennedy. And you're going to love this when some jackass Chiefs fan threw a snowball at Lincoln Kennedy and he wasn't having it. He goes, "Oh, yeah? How about I come up there and we have a little conversation?" So Lincoln Kennedy climbs up into the seats. Guess who was right behind him? Amy Trask, dude. True story. She gets into that. Tony, final words, and we'll set this up. Go ahead, buddy.
No, I'm very excited for everybody to watch this with Amy Trask, and we were so thankful for her to she's super busy, and to take time out of her day to join us. And then also, Paulie, tomorrow night, there's a couple things I want to get into, and one of these things I want to get into is this these Cleveland Guardians pitchers getting indicted. Because it's just another example of just the shenanigans that are going on in pro sports, man. That something's got to happen.
When you get into bed with legalized gambling, dude, this kind of stuff is. I think this is only the tip of the iceberg. I think it's going to continue.
And it's probably happening in every sport, and it's this is just the tip of the iceberg. And it's like, we can get into it tomorrow night, but Class A, and it's just amazing. The story is amazing. And so if check it out. If you haven't read up on it, read up on the story. We'll talk about it tomorrow night because it goes back to, again, Shohei there's definitely something there.
Oh, I can't wait till he goes down. Shady Shohei, he's going down, bro. One of your great contributions of the year, Creative Tony named him Shady Shohei, and it stuck. Now everyone calls him that.
No question. And Paulie, I want to give the audience today a Diamond Dave business hours are over combo before we go to Amy Trask, if that's cool with you. Because
go for it. Yeah, totally. Go for it. And I'll say goodbye until tomorrow night also. What's up, Eugene? Good to see you, buddy. What's up, Eugene? Please do stand by and enjoy this conversation with one of the legendary figures in the Oakland Raider family, Amy Trask, a dear friend of ours, and you'll see why. She is a lovely woman, and she is a legend, and she will be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They're jackasses for making her wait, but she will get in at some point. All right, Tony, dazzle us. Do your thing, buddy.
Here we go.
All right.
Business hours are over, baby. It's business. It's business time.
We are back going live on Polymac Particles. So happy to be here. Hello, Crown 4. Hello, Twitter. Hello, Instagram. Hello, YouTube people. Hello, all of y'all. Wherever you're picking up the show, you recognize Creative Tony Ryan, of course. And we have a very special guest today. Not only is this woman a pioneer, groundbreaker in her field, she is also one of my dear friends. Amy and I go way, way back. This is Amy Trask, everybody. Checking in from Venice, California. I got to say, I have pangs of jealousy looking at those palm trees because it's getting cool up here in the Bay, Amy. But it's so great to see your face. Hello, and how have you been, my dear?
Well, thank you for having me. I am well. And before we get started, thank you both for your patience with all of my tech issues. Thank you. If this isn't showing up well, I apologize. But I look forward to the conversation because we do go way back. Let's just not say how many years that was, okay?
No, we'll keep that part unspoken. That'll be the mystique in this conversation. We'll keep that mysterious. But no, Amy and I, so we originally met. Tony and I started working for the Raiders flagship. Amy, that's how we actually broke into radio in the Bay Area. Tony and I and Rod Brooks all worked for the Ticket 1050 when the Ticket was the flagship for Oakland Raider football. We had the John Gruden show. We had the Tim Brown show. So I got to say, Amy, now, you know I'm a Niner fan, but I've never been one of those Niner fans who hates the Raiders. In fact, I always embraced Raider culture. And Amy, by the way, has now moved on to the CBS Sports family. We're going to talk about that too. But Amy is synonymous with the brand, with Raider football. In fact, I got to ask you a question. I've never asked you this before. How did you feel when the Raider Nation kind of rose up and said, you know what your new name is, Amy? We're going to call you the Princess of Darkness. I like that, but how were you with that? Were you cool with that?
Oh, it is the best nickname ever. I shall forever cherish it. And the way it came to be was Mike Silver, who was with Sports Illustrated at the time, wrote a piece on me. And in that piece, he shared anonymous quotes from league executives, team executives. I don't, recall whether they were just team executives or league office executives. I think it was both. But they said, not on the record,
right?
Behind her back, we call her the Princess of Darkness. And it was very, very clear that it was not intended as a compliment. But I kind of liked it. And Raider fans liked it. And Raider fans embraced it. And I embraced it. And I shall forever cherish my nickname. And frankly, I hope you guys are a little scared of me right now because you should be.
As we always are.
Terrified?
We have the appropriate fear, Amy. We have appropriate fear and respect.
And by the way, also in that same piece, anonymously, someone said she's I think it was a sharper, meaner Al Davis with a law degree. So whenever he and I would get into a disagreement, and one of my favorite things to share about working with him for almost 30 years is that we disagreed more often than we agreed. And that was okay with him. He embraced that because it was healthy disagreement. You can disagree in a healthy manner, but every time we disagreed after that piece came out, I would stand up and go to walk out of his office and I would say, sharper, meaner. And I would just walk out the door.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing. So Al Davis, we can dive right into that. Actually, it's a great talking point. Amy and Al with their relationship. Al Davis, first of all, in my mind, Amy deserves so much credit not only for hiring you, the first female CEO in the NFL, but also being a groundbreaker in terms of just destroying the racial barrier. He was the first owner to hire a black head coach in Todd Shell. And a lot of people, if they don't know this, they should always know this. Part of the 49ers story runs through Al's office too, because Al is the first guy to ever hire Bill Walsh as a coaching assistant way back in the day. So Al Davis, his shadow, I think, Amy, will always be cast over the Raiders, the organization.
As it should be.
Yeah, as it should be. And it's funny, Tony and I talk about this a lot, even currently this year. It's like, what would Al Davis think of the state of the Raiders now? He's got to be rolling over in his grave. Like if Al Davis was going to change one thing about the state of the Raiders today, like where would he start? And I'm not knocking Pete Carroll. I'm just asking.
Well, and before I dive into that, I just want to touch on one thing you said to me. I owe my career to the fact that Al hired without regard to race, gender, ethnicity, or any individuality, which has no bearing whatsoever on whether one can do a job. He hired Tom Flores, and I'll do this chronologically, not in order of importance. He hired Tom Flores, he hired me, he hired Art Shell. And as I said, those individualities, race, gender, ethnicity, they have no bearing whatsoever on whether one can do a job. Right. And he did this decades and decades and decades before this was a topic of discussion. So I am well aware that I owe my career to the fact that he hired in that manner. The other biggest misconception about him is that he wouldn't tolerate disagreement or anyone who would disagree with him, because if that were the case, I'd have been fired roughly 2 weeks into my job, 2.5 weeks. I won't bother you with the whole story. Let's just say I told him he was wrong. Yeah. We had a heated discussion. It was so loud. People gathered outside the room. They were listening. Someone came with boxes because they figured, this girl that got hired like 2.5 weeks ago, she's gone.
Right.
But I think that set up our relationship for almost 30 years that, people have to learn, this country has to learn, the world has to learn that disagreement can be healthy, disagreement can be productive, but we have to learn to disagree agreeably and exchange thoughts in a reasoned and reasonable manner. So that's all. Now I'll dive into your question with I don't know what the answer to that is. How's that for a good answer? I liked the hire of Pete Carroll. When the Raiders hired Pete Carroll, I came out. Susie Schuster and I had him on a podcast with us, and I told him personally that which I said publicly. I liked the hire, and I think Al would have liked the hire. I think Pete is a good head coach, and I hope that they give him a chance to get things solid and straight there. There's a lot going on behind the scenes at the Raiders, and I care for, I was about to say the Davis family, but of course Carol Davis recently passed away. But it's a limited partnership. I know many of the limited partners. They go back decades and decades and decades, and I worry for them all.
Yeah, it's tough. And I maintain, Amy, that even for non-Raider fans, hell, if you're just a fan of NFL football, I truly believe this in my gut, that the NFL is always better off when the Raiders are relevant, when they are winning, when they're in the conversation. It's like the spice in the recipe. You got to have some, like,
I love that.
Yeah, like it's a little hot sauce on top. And that's what the Raiders always kind of represented to me. In a way, I kind of feel that way about the Cowboys too. I mean, they've been down so long. I think it's better when they're in the mix. So hopefully the Raiders will get back up on the. Yes, Amy? It
is not a little hot sauce. It's a lot of hot sauce. Yeah. And as we all know, hot sauce makes everything better.
And check this out. I can tell you this to this day, Amy, this kind of blows me away, but in a way, I guess it's not surprising that when you look around the Bay Area today, November 25, you can talk to Raider fans that have been with the Raiders since their first installment in Oakland, where the team was conceived, and then moving to Los Angeles, back to Oakland, now to Vegas. So many Raider fans have not abandoned them for betrayal or anything, which kind of surprised me, because leaving Oakland twice I thought would be a death blow. But that is not. Does that surprise you that there are so many Raider fans still here in the Bay?
I am glad that many of the fans have stayed attached. I realize not all of them have. And I was asked about the move at the time of the move, and my answer was, two things that are not mutually inconsistent. For the fans that are thrilled with the move, and it is a magnificent brand new, wonderful stadium. So
Mhm.
with the fans from around the country that travel to the games, whether they're in the Bay Area or anywhere else, those fans that are thrilled with the move, I am happy for them. But for the fans in the Bay Area that are heartbroken, my heart goes out to them. And again, those two things are not mutually exclusive. I can be happy for the fans who are happy and sad
Mhm.
for the fans who are not happy.
Yeah, Tony, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Amy, first of all, I have a 10-year-old daughter, and I just want to say thank you for being such a role model to her. And
Oh, wow.
she was very excited when I told her I was going to be talking to you today. So thank you on behalf of her and just all the young women all over the country and the world. You're such an inspiration. But I also wanted to just ask you, what was it like, being the Raiders CEO, female CEO in such a male dominated, sports league? Like, what was that like? And obviously you needed to be an ass kicker and keep at it. I just wonder from your words, what that was like.
Well, I, of course, will answer you, but before I do, I want to thank you for being a girl dad who will encourage your daughter to dream and to
Mhm.
pursue her dreams. I know the value of having a father like that. I had a father like that. So to all the dads, and by the
Yeah.
way, it's not only girls, to all
Yeah.
the dads who inspire their children and
Yeah.
encourage their children, girl or boy, to dream and to pursue the dreams, that's what's going to make the world better. So thank you. And tell your daughter I say hi.
I will. I will.
When I went to my first league owners meeting, which was I started my job, I did my internship in the early part of the 80s. And then I joined full time in the mid 80s. And when I started my job and went to my first league owners meeting, I was the only woman in that room. And I was the only woman in that room for quite a while. And the answer to your question is, I didn't care.
Nice.
I didn't care.
Nice.
Never made sense to me, still doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
That if I want to go into a meeting room, whether it's league owners, league owners, municipal leaders, elected officials, bankers, business partners, limited partners, the locker room, a coach's meeting, any meeting whatsoever. If I don't want anyone in that room thinking about my gender, if I hope they're not thinking about my gender, if my expectation is they shouldn't be thinking about my gender, then what the heck am I going to waste my time thinking about my gender for? In other words, if I want to walk into any of those meetings and I want my gender to be irrelevant, well, then I'm not going to be thinking about my gender. And you know what? If someone else wants to, go ahead, waste your time. That's your loss, not mine. So I didn't care if anyone was bothered.
Nice.
It was my job to do my job.
Yeah.
That's a tremendous answer. And while we're and our guest is Amy Trask, of course. And while we're talking about that kind of idea, Amy, I guess for the young women watching or listening to the show today that have dreams like the dreams that you've achieved, where they say, geez, I would love to be a part of the NFL in some fashion, or I would love to be part of MLB or the NHL, NBA, so on. What advice could you give while we have you, just to the young ladies in the audience that are pursuing journalism or whatever their field, communications, with the goal of achieving a career like the one you've had? What advice could you give them?
Well, the first piece of advice I give to young women and young men, it is not gender specific, which is work hard. Work as hard as you can. And when you think you can't work any harder, find a way to work harder.
Nice.
The second piece of advice is, we hear people all the time, there's that expression, if you can see her, you can be her. Who cares if you can see her? Go pursue whatever you want to see. And if there's not a woman that's done it before you, then go be the first woman. In other words, don't let the fact that there might not be a woman doing what it is you want to do stop you from doing it. Look, you guys, I tell the story of Apollo 13 to make this point. When Apollo 13 was up there in space and encountered trouble. I don't know if you guys saw the movie Apollo 13.
Oh, yeah.
If you're listening, no, I'm sure you two have, or I hope you two have, but if you're listening to this or watching this and you haven't seen it, watch it. It's one of my two favorite movies. Probably really is my favorite movie. Animal House being a close second.
Nice. Great choice.
It's kind of right there. But in Apollo 13, there's a scene where the Ed Harris character walks into a room in NASA, and there's about 8 or 10 people around a table, and he dumps a bucket of bolts and pieces and parts on that table. And he says to these NASA employees, using only these pieces and parts, because this is what they have with them on Apollo 13, find a way to get those men home alive. Do you think anyone on Apollo 13 gave a damn what the race or religion or gender of anyone sitting around that table was?
Great point.
No.
Yep.
They just wanted to get home alive. Do your job as best you can, work harder than you think is possible, and prove yourself.
And I can expand on that, Tony, because Brian Murphy and I, for all the years of the Murph and Mac show, we dealt with Amy, and Amy was we were her guests at Raider Camp in Napa for years. And this is after we had cut ties with the Ticket 1050. This is when we were the 49er flagship. But Murph and I made a decision. We're like, listen, if we're going to tell the story of Bay Area sports, the Oakland Raiders are always going to be part of that story. And I can tell you from my experiences, Amy is a total, I would compare you kind of to Raymond Ritter in terms of professionalism, in terms of just ass kickers that get the job done, no questions asked, always done the right way. So I can back everything Amy just said, but we should talk a little bit about what you're doing now too. Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We will, but wait. First, I got to say how much fun it was with you guys at training camp.
Oh yeah.
With you and Murph, and you mentioned Rod Brooks earlier. And by the way, I am the only person who walked up to Rod Brooks on our team plane after he got leveled on the sideline.
At Lambeau Field.
Yeah, he got leveled, and he's on the plane. No one's even looking at him. I'm like, Rod, are you okay? Do you need some ice? What do you need? But you, Murph, Rod, those were fun times in Napa. Loved having you guys up there. And as to the 49ers, I had a great relationship with Niner ownership. And, I'm still in touch with Carmen Policy.
Nice.
Notwithstanding business disputes, we found a way, again, to disagree agreeably. We didn't agree on business points, but we found a way to collaborate on other things. So it was fun having you in Napa with us. As to what I'm doing now, I am with CBS Sports.
Yeah.
And boy, it's just, when I left the Raiders, I told my husband, it took me a year to decide what I wanted to do.
Right.
And when I told my husband, I'm not going to be able to decide what's next until after I make a decision about the Raiders. So the morning after I gave notice to Mark Davis, I woke up and I looked at my husband and I said, I'm a blight on humanity. I have nothing to do. And he laughed and he's like, you worked for Al for almost 30 years. Take a breath. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I joined CBS. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is there's a lesson in this, a message to young women and young men. When CBS Sports called me and asked me to join them, I said, no. They asked multiple times. I said, no. Because the scariest thing I've ever done in my life is being on camera.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember from years of the Raiders, I would be on the sideline pregame, and if I would see that TV camera coming, I would run so fast the other way. People said Al would sign me to play corner.
Yeah.
And then we were sitting around with a group of people on our cul-de-sac in the Oakland Hills doing what I like the best, which is making s'mores.
Nice.
And I shared with a group of people that I had turned CBS Sports down because I've always been extraordinarily insecure about my physical appearance. That goes all the way back to when I was a little kid, and I was never the pretty girl in the room, and I've just always been really insecure. And so I said, I'm not going to do it. And I'm going on, and the woman next to me, who I knew but not very well, said 3 words that changed my life.
Nice.
She very quietly said, let it go.
Wow.
And that resonated with me, and I called CBS Sports and I said, I'm in.
Nice.
And when we did our first TV show, I'm there, and the producer, Sean Robbins, says in my ear, we're going live in 30 seconds or whatever. And I said, I'm so scared, I think I'm going to throw up all over myself. And his response was, oh, we would get so many YouTube views for that.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing, right?
And Bart Scott, the linebacker, was my teammate.
Yeah.
And Bart sat next to me and literally held my hand until we came out of commercial break, in which case he'd pry my fingers off his hand and put it back on the table. Yeah. Bart Scott held my hand every show. And the reason I'm sharing all this is if someone's listening or watching and something scares the crap out of you, sometimes doing what scares you the most can be a lot of fun.
Oh, amen to that. Amen to that, Amy. And by the way, Amy, you're talking to a couple of former radio guys who, when they had to go visual, were like, No, we
Oh.
got it for radio.
You should tell Amy about the commercial we filmed last week. It took like 5 hours for Kron to shoot a 30-second commercial about our show.
What?
Believe me.
Did you have to do like take 95?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, for
Yeah.
a 30-second script, this went on for hours. But no, to your point, like Tony and I have always been, radio people, but now the entire industry kind of demands that you show them. You have to be on camera. But I'm not a fan either. Believe me, I totally understand what you're talking about. The lights are on. It's uncomfortable. Yeah, Amy, I'm a big sweater. I'll just start sweating, when they turn those lights on, which is a bad look. But anyway, Tony, sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to know, Amy, in today's game, because the NFL has evolved immensely and a lot of changes, and I wanted to say, is there something that you love about that's evolved in the game? Is there something that you're not so fond of that's been part of the game's evolution?
Great questions. I'm gonna have to think about
like the tush push. How do you feel about that, for example? Like that's a newly kind of
okay. You know what? I remember early in my career, I was moaning about something in a game, and one of our coaches said to me, well, then we have to, you don't want him in the end zone? Oh, I know what it was. The opposing team, someone was just celebrating like crazy in the end zone, and it was either one of our players or one of our coaches. When I was, made a comment, it's like, well, then we need to stop them. In other words, you don't want someone celebrating in your end zone. Don't let them get in your end zone.
Don't let them score.
If and to the extent it's been determined, and seemingly it has, I don't know if this is the case. I haven't studied it enough. So with all of those caveats in place, if really there is no greater injury risk, and the league seems to believe there's not, if there's no greater injury risk, then my view is you don't like it, find a way to stop it.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's a totally fair point. Yeah.
One of the things that's grown, but not surprisingly to me, because it was a subject of discussion during my years in the league, is all the international games. And I think that's terrific.
Yeah.
Sports is something that can bring the world together, and not always, but it can. And, I like the fact that it's more international now. And, to everybody who says to me, oh, but Amy, it's so grueling for a team to travel internationally. No, it's not. Let me tell you how you guys know this, but let me tell you, listeners and viewers, how team travel works.
Right.
You get picked up at the team facility in a bus. You go through security at your team facility. You're not lined up for TSA. The bus drops you at the steps of the stairs. You're not going through security. You're not going through the terminal. Right. Everywhere you go, you have a police escort. You never wait in the line. You get to the hotel. They hand you your key. The elevator is waiting. Yes, the flights are longer, but the travel is not hard. We played preseason games in London and in Tokyo and in Mexico City. And I'm forgetting one, I think, but Barcelona. The travel's not hard. It's, it's a lot of hours, but you just work in a bye after that and it's fine.
Amy, thank you so much for saying that, and for keeping it real. Honestly, I really appreciate you saying that. And what I love about watching those games isn't necessarily the game itself, but all of the crowd shots and how incredibly psyched those people are that the NFL is in their town or in their stadium. And I agree with you. I think it's a great move, and more of it, and
anything we can do to bring the world closer, let's do it.
Amen. Amy Trask. Just a couple of more minutes tonight, Amy, and we'll let you go. But while we're talking about international play, do you think there is any, well, actually let me rephrase this. Do you think it would be a good thing for the NFL to eventually have a team, say, rooted in London? Because I've heard that rumor for some time. I don't know how real that is, but do you think that would be good for the league and the brand and all that stuff?
I do think it would be good for the brand and for the league. I think it would be very, very rough and challenging on the team or teams there. And here's why. Not the games, but just the day-to-day business. Let's say you're a team and you're stationed in London. And by the way, league, I've worked this out for you. I figured it out. You can have this. It's on me. If you're the team in London and it's a Tuesday during the season and you want to bring in a couple free agents and check them out. And what happens when you bring a free agent into your team to work him out on a Tuesday during the season, your coach walks outside to the field. Your position coaches walk outside. If the player or players you're trying out are in their positions, your trainers walk outside and you put your team, you put the player through a workout. Well, you're not going to fly a free agent who's sitting in California to London on a Tuesday to work out. So they're going to have to figure something out where there's a base ops in the United States. And if a team based abroad wants to work out a free agent, then maybe the free agent goes to that base ops, and maybe now we can do so many things virtually. Maybe the coach watches on Zoom. All of those logistics can be worked out, but they have to be worked out.
Great answer. Great answer. And Amy, as we can wrap here, I just want to kind of talk about, for all the people, especially back here in the Bay, who I think, honestly just miss the Raiders, miss seeing you and hearing you, among others. There's so many, Lincoln Kennedy is a name that comes to mind. Always visible in the community, always had time to talk to fans. And now that kind of thing is gone now. They can still watch on TV. But for Amy Trask fans out there who haven't kept up with your work on CBS, tell them all where and when they can find you and all your hot takes.
Okay, well, first of all, I love the fans. I will always love the fans. Shortly after I joined the Raiders, and I mean like immediately after joining them as an intern, I recognized the importance of fans. There is no league as we know it without fans. Fans should not only be appreciated, they should be cherished. And they shouldn't get like a little ditty bag at the like here's a little bag for your holiday present. They should be cherished. And I remember one of the things I instituted with our fans was letting them have locker room tours, letting them have behind the scenes access, not just a gift bag, but access for our season ticket holders and our club holders and all of that. I love the fans. There is no league without the fans. I will cherish the fans forever. So, they can find me on X at Amy Trask. They can find me. I'm kind of new to the whole Instagram world because I joined it so I could join Threads, and I'm navigating that. I think I'm official Amy Trask, and I'm on Blue Sky. And then what I do on CBS now that the whole world is migrating from cable to streaming is I'm on something called CBS Sports HQ Spotlight. So you can, and I always put it out on my Twitter or my X and my other platforms so they can find it there. Thank you for asking. And by the way, as to Lincoln Kennedy, let's not forget who it was that followed Lincoln into the stands in Denver. We were leaving the game. The Bronco fans are throwing snowballs at all of us as we're walking down the sideline after the game. I'm walking off with our team, our coaches, our trainers. They're throwing snowballs at us. So Lincoln starts going into the stands because he's mad. He's getting pummeled with snowballs. Well, I, of course, think that all 5 foot, almost 3 inches, not quite 3 inches, but I like to say 5 foot 3 inches of me. I'm going to go protect Lincoln because, of course, he's my teammate. I got to protect him. So I go marching into the stands following Lincoln. And half our players and coaches are laughing hilariously. And the other half are like, Amy, don't. Amy, don't. But let's just not forget who followed Lincoln into the stands to protect him.
Oh no, it's the most gangster maneuver of all time. And that's why, like, the Princess of Darkness, Amy's up in the seats fighting Chiefs fans. I mean, that's what the Raiders are all about. The brotherhood, the sisterhood, the family. If Lincoln goes, I'm going. I
had to protect him. But I don't want to take too much of your time, but one of the things I remember from our fans, it's not just, these aren't just words. It's sincere, heartfelt love for our fans. I made time before every single game, home and on the road, to walk through the parking lot and visit with all our fans. And I will forever cherish the memory of when word got out. I don't know how, but it sort of got out that I'm a vegetarian. So as I would walk through all the tailgates in the parking lot and everybody's making barbecue, our fans would yell out, Amy, we made you asparagus. Or Amy, we made you broccoli. And it just hit my heart.
Yeah. Amy, I remember when we used to do Raider rallies and stuff.
Remember those?
Oh, totally. Jack London Square. We had a big one. Rod Brooks and I. Yeah.
Yes. And you were always so good with the fans. So it's what you speak. You're speaking the truth there. And I remember it. And you want to talk about a loyal fan base. I mean, wow. That's just, so it must have been really fun for you to be a part of Raider Nation, I would assume.
I will forever have their backs.
Yeah, nice.
Amy, I will forever have your back. Whatever you need, any heavy lifting, you need a ride to the airport, you need somebody to, hey, you want your lawn landscaped, you give me a call. I'll be there with the lawnmower and a quart of gasoline. But let me tell you, I love you. I'm so proud of you. I know big things are ahead for you. We'll leave it at that. But it's great to reconnect with you, and hopefully we can do it again down the road, Amy.
I will join you guys. Now, we'll keep this our little secret because I know it's not like this is being recorded or anything. This is like my favorite podcast ever. This was so much fun, or one of my favorites. I did love Rod Brooks.
Yeah.
Brooksy.
This is one of my favorite podcasts ever. I will come on with you guys whenever you want. And if anyone is ever throwing snowballs at you, you let me know. I got your backs.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Real quick on the way out, Amy, did you catch the Cal Bear upset of Louisville over the weekend? Did you catch that?
Did I catch that? Did I catch it? 4th and 3, and I'm thinking, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? 4th and 3. That is a big move. I'm not going to use the word that we use to describe that kind of move, but I'm screaming, what are you doing? Not in person, I wasn't there, but what are you doing? And this was vintage Amy when I'm watching a football game. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, that was really smart. That was good.
Totally. That's all of us. That's all of us on any given game. No question.
And then we got big game in 2 weeks. Oh, and I'm already lobbying SoFi that I want the Cal Bowl game to again be down in LA so I can be there, on the sideline.
I got no problem with that. I'll second that. I got no problem. Let's service Amy on this one. She's the primary focus.
Hey, Paulie, one last question for Amy on the way out. Amy, real quick, the We Need to Talk show. The all-female sports talk show that started, I think, 2014, I think?
Something like that.
How did that come about? Like, was that like a group
CBS
of people?
Sports. CBS Sports. Tyler Hale, who's an executive, was very involved with the vision of the show. Harold Bryant. And it's, I'll just share one story with you guys. It is this group of women, just some of whom are in, Leslie Visser, Andrea Kramer, but also Olympic gold medalists, I should say, some gold, Summer Sanders, the Stanford swimmer, Dara Torres, Layla Ali. And I will never forget the first meeting we had. By the way, Swin Cash, Basketball Hall of Fame. Lisa Leslie. I mean, these are just dominant athletes, basketball players, swimmers. So we're having our first We Need to Talk meeting, and we're going around the table and sharing our thoughts. And I said, well, I'm nervous. I still get nervous on camera. I'm just very insecure about being on camera. And Layla Ali, Muhammad's daughter, looks across the table at me and says, I got you.
Nice.
I called my husband. I said, I am good for life. Okay. When Layla Ali has my back, I'm done. I'm good. I'm fine.
I'm all set going forward with that endorsement. No question. Yeah. That's like royalty. That's like getting endorsed by royalty, man.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding. She has your back. You're good for life.
And sorry, I know I keep saying last question, but this truly is my last question, Amy. One of our dear friends and colleagues, Kate Scott, has always been a big fan of yours. I assume your paths have crossed multiple times.
Oh, these are two of the best. Yeah.
Okay.
I love her. I keep in touch with her. When she was down here before her career took off, we went to a Mexican food restaurant right by here. We talked about her career trajectory.
Nice.
I am rooting and cheering her on. She is not only phenomenal at what she does, she's a phenomenal human being.
Yep.
No question.
As are you both.
Well, and as are you. It's an admiration society. And we've had Kate on a couple of times. We love Kate just like you. So and the sky's the limit. God only knows where she'll wind up. I mean, there's no stopping Kate Scott. But Amy, thank you so much for the time. It was great to see you. Great to catch up and chat. And we'll get you again during the playoffs. We'll definitely do it again.
Awesome. And by the way, when Cal win some major bowl game, I'll be calling you going, do you want me on? Do you want me on?
Yeah,
you got it. You got a deal. I look forward to it. Amy, you be well. We'll chat soon. Thank you.
Love you both.
Love you. There's Amy Trask, everybody, one of the all-time greats, and we appreciate her giving us a few minutes right here on Polymax Particles. What are you going to say? I can say this, Tony, in closing about Amy. We got some unfortunate news, I would say, within the past 48 hours, and I'm going to kind of leave it there, because I love Amy and I would never do anything that would make her uncomfortable. But I'll leave it at this. Someday, the Pro Football Hall of Fame will get it right. And I'm not I'm not embellishing anything. Someday, instead of making somebody like Ken Stabler wait to get into the Hall of Fame till after he's dead, what the hell is that? Or Bryant Young, one of the best defensive linemen I've ever seen I've seen a lot of football. They made Bryant Young wait years for why? I don't know. And so I'm just going to say that it was a disappointment, but Amy will eventually find her way into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I guarantee it.
100%. And some of the best advice, my dad has given me and other people have given me on certain things in life, don't overthink it. Hey, NFL, don't overthink this.
And it's another thing. It's a total misstep by the NFL.
Yes.
They clearly don't get it. Like you guys, you don't freaking get it. Why don't you fly me in for a meeting? I'll teach all you jackasses the meaning of respect and why such and such deserves their way into the hall. Again, I'm going to leave it there, but that day will come. It'll come, but it's just disappointing it didn't happen right now because it should have. There's
nothing to consider. I mean, the resume and the person speak for themselves.
How many other CEOs, Tony? Name one. I don't care, male, female, whatever. Dolphin, you know what I mean? Mammal, guppy, I don't care. Name one other NFL CEO that would ever climb into the seats with their players to take on the fans. Name one.
I can't. I can't.
Right.
I mean, Jumping Joe Lacob is somebody who I maybe might consider.
I'll buy that, dude. That's it. I'm coming up there. God damn it. Who threw that? Yeah, no, that's a great call, dude. Rolling up his sleeves, dude. And never forget about Jumping Joe Lacob. We should next time we get Amy, we got to ask her what her encounters with Joe are like. But never forget that when Tony and I saw Bruce Springsteen in the E Street Band last year, Jumpin' Joe was in front of us with a dress shirt, and a Springsteen tour shirt pulled over it, tucked in. It was all tucked in. That's right. I'm tucking it in. Damn it. I'm here to rock out on the street. Oh. Anyway, I don't know how we went from maybe Trask to a Joe Lacob riff, but it was great. It worked for me.
We're talking about defending their players in the stands, So it's
what a treat catching up with Amy. I truly do love her in many, many ways. I admire her, and she, like you said about your daughter Olivia, who I love and admire also, that she is a great example. And Amy was quick to correct us, not just for young ladies, for any young person who's wondering, how do you break into the league? You heard what you said, work hard. And when you think you're tired, start working even harder. Yeah. That's it.
And, Paulie, I'm so thankful for people like Amy, who is just a constant positive force. And
did you hear her reiterate that idea multiple times? She's like, we got to bring this world together. Yes. We got to get, and that's kind of what you're saying. And she feels that too. Yeah.
Yes. And it's like, and she, I don't know, that's why this whole NFL thing is just bonkers. Because if you think of how many things she's done, not just for her own career, but for so many other people.
The fact that they can't get it right is, I guess it's not surprising. We've seen this so many times. By the way, here's another name for you, NFL, or I should say Pro Football Hall of Fame. See if you can get this one right at some point too. Ever hear of a guy named Roger Craig? I don't know. Ever heard of him? Go look up his stats, read his story. Maybe at some point he'll get in, but they do. I don't know.
They call me Roger the Dodger. I bust through the defense.
All right. On that note, let's wrap it up. Hey, PMP Familia, hope you enjoyed that conversation with the great Amy Trask. I believe we're signing off for this installment. So everybody have a great Tuesday. You guys enjoy yourselves. Go Dubs. You got Dubs OKC happening. And then we will reconvene tomorrow night for our Wednesday night traditional night flight. Looking forward to that very much. Without further ado, Tony, no more fanfare. Let's just bow out.
Paulie.
Crossfading even on recorded interviews. That's badass, man. It's freaking badass. Tony, we've done all we can do. Thank you again, Amy Trask, and thank you, PMP Familia, for always riding or dying with us. We do appreciate that. And I love having Amy Trask on our sidecar. We're on the motorcycle. She's in the sidecar with us, man.
That was really a treat. I hope everybody enjoyed that as much as I did or we did, because that was a real treat. Amy is just, like I said, such a positive force. And I'm going to ride the afterglow of that one for a little while, Paulie.
Me too, Tony. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow night, everybody, for the night flight. Have a great evening, and cheers to you and yours.
Yeah, peace, y'all.